The Beach FM Business Lunch Show, brought to you by Placemakers, Kapiti and Horowhenua. Together we're building New Zealand.
Welcome back to the Business Lunch on Beach FM with Damian, and let's talk real estate now, and let's welcome into the show from Double Winkel Real Estate, Paraparaumu and Tawa, and the professionals based in Kapiti Lights. It's Eddie Winkel. G'day, Eddie.
Damian, how are you?
I'm very, very well. How are you holding up during this time?
The home desk is getting a lot more use than it has in the past, and Zoom is getting a lot of use. So, but hey, look, we're bearing up. I mean, we've got to participate and make sure that we squash the virus, don't we? So,
Absolutely.
All hands to the deck, as they say.
Absolutely. Well, we're here to talk real estate now, and what better person with over 40 years experience? You would have seen the region change over that time greatly.
Yeah, well, I have. Luckily or unfortunately, I've been through some of the major crashes that have taken place in New Zealand since the mid-'80s, so 87, early 90s, 2008, obviously, and potentially now. So but now is something that even the economists can't all agree on. So it will be interesting to see what happens as we go forward.
Absolutely. What was the market like before level 4, before COVID-19 was even discussed? How were we tracking in real estate?
Look, the real estate market really had a blip in it. Short supply of properties, premium prices being attracted, buyers scrambling to try and find a house, and in most cases, a lot of them were missing out because there was multiple buyers for so few dwellings that were for sale. So, it was what we'd call a strong market before COVID.
Right. Now, what happens with certain what happens with sales that were in the pipeline before COVID-19? How are they going to be affected?
Well, all the sales that we would call unconditional sales, we now know that under level 3, furniture removers are able to go back to work. So. And most of the contracts, and I'm talking on behalf of, I suppose, the whole industry, most of the contracts would have had, if they're unconditional, would have had a settlement date that was 10 working days from when we got to level 3.
Right.
In some cases, even level 2, but most cases maybe level 2 or 3. So a good example is our daughter sold her house and settlement couldn't take place, and as soon as we get down to level 3, I think they got 10 working days then to move out and have the house settled. So in most cases, I think that isn't going to give us a problem.
Excellent, mate. Excellent. Good music to my ears, definitely. Hey, how have you been? Have you still have people out there interested? How is the confidence during the lockdown that we've just had in the last few weeks?
Look, it varies from house to house, and it varies from region to region a little bit. Though our experience has, we've had a lot of inquiry, and we have sold a couple of properties, maybe more than a couple, but we've sold a few properties where the purchasers have only seen the property via the internet and 3D imaging and video and that sort of thing. And so that's not unusual, but it is a little bit unusual, particularly from a Kiwi perspective. Most of the transactions that happened like that in the past have been from expats and that sort of stuff. So look, but it's not, we're not flat out.
Of course, yeah, right. With the change, we are going to level 3 lockdown. The virtual tours might be a bit different. What kind of advice are you giving to people out there that are kind of sitting on the fence whether they should sit on their money for a bit longer or take that step and actually go and buy their first house or second?
Well, look, you could sit on your hands and wait, and the rumour is the market might come back a little bit in price. I think, you'll never get it right. You just got to decide what's right for you. Absolutely. So if you're currently in a rental property, you're looking to buy your first house, I know what that's like. Our own children have been in that boat. You just got to make a decision and don't wait for the market to say, well, the market might come back in price. If it did come back in price, there'd be more buyers. And, the investors might come back. So you just got to do what's right for you. And property has always looked after itself. You see a dip, and it might come back 10%, and then 3 years later, it picks up by 30%. So, it's just what it is.
Yes.
So if you want to buy a house and you're keen to buy a house, get on with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I see some of the banks around lowering mortgage rates, of course, but they're also lowering the percentage that you have to have deposit. How will that affect the market?
Well, look, from a first home buyer's perspective, if there's a couple buying a property and they both work, but they don't quite have the 20% deposit, which has been the sort of norm. Yep. And when you're talking an average sale price, maybe a 500 odd thousand, there's a $100,000 deposit. This is no doubt going to help some first home buyers into a property.
Absolutely. And lastly, mate, what does level 3 look like for you? Have you started planning out what level 3 and level 2 looks like for you guys?
Well, yeah, we will. Unfortunately for us, there's been when level 3 was announced, it did appear that we would be able to do some work. That's meeting buyers at properties, taking them through the property. There's some criteria around that in terms of hygiene and sanitising and gloves and masks and that sort of stuff. And also, we got the feeling that we would be able to meet with some of our owners, social distance-wise, and just talk them through. We're now waiting for a decision whether that is our understanding or whether we have to wait till level 2, and we won't know that for a couple of days now.
Right.
But all things being equal, we are ready to go back to work.
Excellent.
I think the wife's had enough of me.
Yes.
And talking to the troops on Zoom this morning, they're all in the same predicament. It's initially the novice and the time off was good for the garden. I think the green waste is going to be overdone. When you get to the green waste at the tip, I think there'll be a bit there. But, we're ready to go.
Absolutely. And how's your confidence going into the next stage of this?
Well, look, so I explained before, I've been through a few of these difficult times. 2008 was the last one, and it was difficult. There were over 1,000 houses for sale on the Kapiti Coast in any given month in 2008, and we've only got a couple of hundred or so currently. So, but my picking is it will be a bit tough. There will be a whole lot of people sitting on their hands waiting for the market to come back before they make a decision to sell. But the difference is going to be this, is that last time a lot of people were affected by the second-tier finance companies where they had money invested at higher interest rates and they lost all their money.
Of course.
So they needed to sell their house and maybe buy something a bit smaller so they could have some money for their retirement. That isn't the case this time round. This time round, it is more to do with, obviously, employment and those sort of issues. So I think it's just going to be a wait and see. And it just depends which economist you want to listen to or read. They have varying thoughts. Some are very pessimistic, and others a little bit more optimistic. And look, you've got to believe that New Zealand's in a good place. We've got plenty of food, we've got plenty of agriculture and all that sort of stuff. So we're not going to go hungry.
No, we are not. Well, I thank you so much for your time. I'd love to catch up in a few weeks to see how the market is going with the level 3s and 2s. So thank you so much, Eddie, for your time on the show.
That's right, and I look forward to talking to you again in a few weeks.